didn't the Real Madrid fans go to the training ground this week as well? I think or something like that. Like it's happening, man. There might be an uprising. We might get the first ever fan led revolt and get fans playing in official matches soon enough. How cool would that be? Actually, a
Hey
bunch of
man,
unfit guys just trying to make way on the field.
Listen, man. As long as my team has professional players, I'm cool with it. Declan Rice versus the Real Madrid Ultras. Let's go.
Oh my!
That's like the footballing equivalent of 100 men versus a gorilla.
ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Shirtless Plantain Show. I'm your host Tosin, alongside Coach and Dean. Fellas, it's good to see your black faces. How's everyone doing today?
Well, first of all, I'm not black.
Shut up, nigga. Dean, how are you?
First of all, I'm not black. Continue, coach.
I'm
I
not
don't know.
black.
I don't know what you're talking about, my bro.
Well,
I'm a
okay, well,
Nigerian, first and foremost.
okay. All right, fair enough. Well,
So there we go. I'm an
I'm not.
African, not an
Yeah,
Africant.
African. There you go. That's the spirit. Like I'm not black. I'm OJ.
Yeah.
So there you go.
You just
R.I.P.
put the
to a
Nick
well, sorry,
in
my
that.
bad, my bad. Let me not R.I.P. that here and today, but y'all know what I mean. Black people know what I mean. Wink, wink. I'm winking behind my shades.
He's not winking, guys. I can assure you of that.
Ah man, Carlo Ancelotti has a new job officially. He is the manager for Brazil. So shout out to Carlo for that. That is a great time for him. He's gonna go down to Rio, play tactics, and just enjoy sun. That's what he's gonna do.
Sorry, did you say play tactics
I mean, vibes. He ain't doing no tactics.
with
Yeah.
Brazil?
That's
I don't think I can think of a more perfect match. He might reset the culture. He actually might reset the culture. Genuinely, I'm hoping he does.
I think it's more likely that the Bunda resets him, but we shall see. We shall see. I'm just really glad he
Maybe
didn't go to
Brazilian
Saudi
music.
Arabia. That was the big. What's that? What do I
So
mean by
maybe,
what?
I said maybe Brazilian music.
Brazilian jazz specifically. Yeah, but I was a little worried that he was actually going to take that Saudi deal, which these days I think we've sort of reached a point in history where we basically forgive people for doing anything as long as it's for money. It feels like these days, So well, you can't really judge the decision and blah 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 blah, and that's what we're going to have to settle for if he decided to go coach in Saudi Arabia, because the offer I was reading about was stupid. So even from my fake moralizing ass, I would have been like, I understand, Carlo, but really you don't need that. You've been making money a long time, but 50 million a year is still 50 million a year. So, but yeah, excited to see what he cooks up with Brazil. Do we think it's gonna work?
Yes and
I
no.
think I think there's a good chance that Neymar now might decide he wants to, be serious for one more year of his life, because I think I can imagine an international team with Ancelotti at the helm where Neymar is able to be Neymar again, even if it's for just 6 weeks. I mean that's the best he can give. I think this year Neymar needs to just get in the lab and just figure it out, because I would love to see a deep Brazil run in the World Cup next year. I think the world deserves it at this point. Like, when's the last time the world saw a good Brazil side, guys? Seriously.
I don't. Why do we deserve this? Why does Brazil have some sort of birthright to be good? I don't care, bro. Fuck Brazil. I
No, no,
hope
no,
I
no, you
hope
do.
they fail
You do.
forever.
You do, Dean. You do.
Yes, I hope they do. Like they can't be good until Argentina is bad. So just give it up. Until
And
Argentina is bad, Brazil will not be good. You know how this works. It's like Batman and Joker or whatever the fuck. I
and
don't know. What y'all nerds be talking about?
and also until they get the yellow right, they have to get the yellow back to what it used to be. That yellow they're wearing
Facts.
now is not a
Facts.
good
That
yellow.
yeah, that shit
Is
was
it like
looking
it's a
like
it's like a tinge of green now, isn't it? Basically.
it looked like Michael Jordan eyes, man. I don't like it.
They also said that Brazil might be getting a red kit next year. They're just doing too much.
Apparently they had one way back in the day, so if they do it, which they won't, but if they do
Not
it,
not my Brazil. Not in my name. Not in my name,
amen.
bro.
Amen. Things happened, even if you don't want to believe them, okay? All right, you MAGA voters, it happened, okay? The
You know
South
what
will
else?
not rise again. Oh, wait, they did. Fuck. All right, let's move on.
Do you know what else happened? Mbappe scored a hat trick and it didn't do anything again, and he lost to Yamal for the fourth time. In the Classico, Barcelona beat Real Madrid 4-3, and this game might have been. It was fun for the neutrals, but I didn't like it. That was not watching that defender was not fun for me. I'm sorry, it was disgusting. But I've said enough. Dean, coach, how do you guys feel about the El Clasico game?
I don't have any great depth of feeling because It's like watching. It's like every Marvel movie in Phase 2 of the Marvel project or some shit. You know what's gonna happen. You know all the plot points. You know how they introduce characters. Barcelona have been beating these motherfuckers all season. Okay, it's not even that different. Like this game, even with the score being different from the prior games, if I asked someone who hadn't watched the game at all to predict exactly what the patterns of play were and what happened in the game, who scored first, who got caught offside a bunch, they'd guess everything correctly. That said, this was really entertaining. I mean, like Real Madrid came out like gangbusters, acted like they were gonna do something. Even in the moments where Real Madrid scored, because they went up 2-0, and two Mbappe goals, one was a penalty, which I believe was deserved. So no controversy there. But even in that period of the game, Barcelona were better. So as we were scoring, I was thinking to myself, you're just going to make this loss more painful when it comes, But end of the day, it happened the way it's supposed to. It was almost boring. To be fair, Carlo did change some things, but I'll leave that to the guy with the big brain to talk about. That's you, coach.
Oh, me? Oh, wow.
Yes, you ape.
Oh, gosh. I'll be real. I just wanted to laugh at Danny Ceballos, to be honest. That's what I came here to do. He was doing a bunch of weird shit and cost them a goal or two. With that being said, I think about 2 days ago, before the match, we were talking about Real Madrid, going forward for next season, and we were like, they're going to need to make a sell, but I personally would like to see a front three of Güler, Vini, and Mbappe. Right?
So what did you think of it?
This is the point I'm coming to. Sometimes you can be doing the right shit and still get punched in the face, basically. There's nothing wrong with that approach. Why? That's life.
Did you just describe marriage to a Jamaican woman?
Relax. But you can be doing the right things and still, you just get humbled. Like, there's nothing wrong with the approach. Wide playmaker with a wand of a strong foot coming in field, basically. Fast forward, clinical forward, and then a nutritional wide forward on the other side that will, provide, creation and threaten behind as well. So nothing wrong with that at all. The big issue is the other side has Lamine Yamal. That's really the issue more than anything. When shit was going bad for Barcelona, they was like, okay, let's just give it to Yamal and we'll just figure shit out. Some of the passes he was making yesterday, there's no sort of tactical way to defend that. He just kind of makes shit happen and you can't do much about it. And we've seen him now against enough teams over the last couple of years, various systems. No one's been able to figure out how to stop him. They just haven't been able to.
I mean, I haven't seen him go up against Miles Lewis-Kelly yet, but there's time. There's time. They're big.
You know what I mean though? Like there's been enough variation in his opponents to be like, well, how do you stop him? So Real Madrid going 2-0 up is just almost like a, you're only gonna make your pain worse later. Don't piss them off, basically. That's my main observation of all of these fixtures.
Well, that's completely accurate, but on the stopping Yamal theme, what I will say is that the vast majority of his highlights come on a strong foot. Whether he's hitting a Trivela cross, whether he's cutting in, and he can go on the outside as well and come back onto that strong foot. But I think defenders need to do an even stronger job of just forcing him onto that weak foot. That's really all they can do, and I don't feel like they do it enough. But
do you guys remember
it's easier said than done.
Remember in above the rim when the guy went inside the backpack? That's how you have to treat Lamine Yamal, honestly.
I don't even think shooting him would help, to be honest. He'd find a way to dance around the bullets as well. Let's be honest.
Hey man, hustle hard 304, baby. That's the heritage right there.
Oh man, but yeah, Real Madrid. Sorry, no title for you, and that's your season done.
I mean, they don't deserve a title. This is not a good Real Madrid team. Not like a lot of the teams that won Champions Leagues in years when they didn't deserve to win Champions League. At least there was something. I think likable is the right word. Like all the quality that PSG currently have is what Real Madrid lacks, which is crazy because one club is supposed to be the gentleman club of Europe, with their clean white shirts and all that, and the other club is run by dirty Qataris that are ruining our sport and all that. But they kind of figured it out, and Kylian, you need some PR help, bro. You need some PR help. You can't.
If PSG win that Champions League, hey, Hey!
I may never leave the internet again. Bro, I'm gonna just be scrolling tweets for like a week straight, just laughing. Like,
You know what sucks? He almost has 40 goals this season, and no one gives a fuck.
Well,
hey man,
here's the thing. My point about doing stuff is only going to piss him off later. We have to be really honest here. The guy's going to come back next year, even on more badness. Like, I fully accept Real Madrid to be nowhere near as tactically naive as they were this year.
I mean,
Like,
again,
they were
Xabi
very,
Alonso.
very, they've been very, very immature this year. In all honesty, and their quality has bailed them out so many times, more times than they probably deserve. Um, I was thinking of some things for next season for them, and I think Jude might need to play a little bit deeper, just because there's a space for him in world football where he could be the most physically dominant player around in that position outside of you know who. But there's a space for him in world football for him to do that.
no, they
And
don't. They don't. It's not like we put a picture up here, Coach.
yeah.
Stop doing that. Stop
Oh,
giving me
sorry,
clues and shit.
Declan Rice. Yeah.
Thank you.
So but I think that's going to take a degree of humbling, which I think he's okay. I think he's a hard worker. I think he's open to that. Um, but yeah, they're going to need to figure that shit out. And I think whoever comes in, most likely Jabi Alonso, will recognize how much of his physical tools he can use on and off the ball, and basically help liberate the nukes up front. So yeah.
You said it like
Yeah.
as if Xabi's not like going there next week to start work.
Yeah, even so, like it's really difficult for me to see Real Madrid in their current form becoming. I mean, they can win a cup competition because any halfway decent team with quality can win a cup competition. Take United and Spurs for instance. These are not good teams, but they have enough quality that they're in the final of a cup competition. That said, I don't see them beating the very elite teams. Not that it will be as bad as this season, but I think they actually need to buy. They need defenders. They need a temper setter in midfield. It's not enough to put a smart playmaker sort like Arda Güler out on the wing. He's still out on the wing. You need somebody in the dirt doing the hard yards, And you're not going to find a Toni Kroos replacement. That ship has sailed. I think the closest they could have come to that was probably Zubimendi. Doesn't look like they're going to be able to get him because somehow he chose Arsenal. I don't
Why is
understand
that?
this. Hey man, I've heard only bad things about that club in London. But in any event, I think before they can sort of solve this problem and become a scary, scary team again, it's not enough to just move Jude around for a third season in a row. One season he was a striker, next season he's an attacking midfielder. Like at some point he's going to need a role in that team, and we probably want him closer to goal. Per what coach has taught us over the years of podcasting.
Yeah. Well, speaking of Zoo, his team lost to Atletico Madrid 4-0, and Sorloth had a day. There was one of the goals that they sent in. I was watching the game live, and it hit off defender, and like Sorloth was right there, and he scored. And I was just like, yeah, Sociedad's not serious, man. Like, whatever.
Some days just your day. Some days it's just your day, man.
Yeah, I just want to say some of those finishes were just out of this world, man. I'll be very real. Like, I think he got a hat trick in the first 11 minutes, right?
Yes.
He got a hat trick in the first. So guys, listen.
10-11.
Yeah, he got a hat trick in the first 11 minutes, but I think he scored 3 goals in like 4 minutes. so when you're playing like a game of FIFA, and like you've just been, even if you could come back in the second half, there's no point of you even playing the second half because there's no way you let him 3 goals in the first 11 minutes, and like, yeah, there's just no coming back. His first goal is again a trademark goal from him, deep cross, early run into the box, and he finds the net, with a good finish. Like, I'm really pleased, genuinely really pleased that there's strikers out there that have bit part roles that can still put up good numbers. I think he's on to
18.
16, 17 goals now.
18.
Like,
That's nice.
that's honestly that's nice, man. Seriously, and yeah, it gives me hope for the future of striking that bit part strikers can still put up numbers because we're in desperate need. People are telling me about Gyökeres and niggas like that. I can't deal with it, man.
Hey man, I watched the highlights. I saw the goals, and I don't know, man. It's a cyclical thing. Like there's gonna be like 10 years from now, we're gonna enjoy this current crop of like young strikers. Then like 10 years from now, some Pep acolyte is gonna come back and play a false nine. Then we're gonna do that for like another 7 years. Then there'll be strikers again. So it goes. You live long enough, you see all this shit. Damn, I'm old. I hate this so much.
Celta Vigo beat Sevilla 3-2. Sevilla is just a mess. I don't know what happened to them over the years, but they are bad. Like really, really bad. They
Yeah.
stink.
Yeah, you spend a lot of money on old players that don't retain value that you can't sell on when they suck, and it all adds up in the end. And shit is like extra bad now because it's beyond just what's happening on the pitch. Now their ultras are attacking the players at the training ground. I feel like we get one of those somewhere. I think the last one was at Sporting,
Yes,
like
and Liao
around
left.
COVID time, when
Yeah.
motherfuckers put a chair on Basdo's head like it was WWE. Like, come on now, I
It
don't
wasn't
like
it
that.
wasn't it wasn't didn't the Real Madrid fans go to the training ground this week as well, I think, or something like that. Like it's happening, man. There might be an uprising. We might get the first ever fan led revolt and get fans playing in official matches soon enough. How cool would that be, actually? A
It
Hey
bunch
won't
of
man,
be.
unfit guys just trying to make way on the field.
listen man, as long as my team has professional players, I'm cool with it. Declan Rice versus the Real Madrid Ultras. Let's go.
Oh my god.
That's like the footballing equivalent of 100 men versus a gorilla.
Yeah, basically.
You know what's so funny? My team plays like they got fans. But yeah. Anyways, I know we didn't put this on the agenda. Valencia's been doing very well. Valencia. I just want to shout out Valencia. That's all. I just
I,
want to
I,
shout out
fuck, I
Valencia.
fucking hate when you do this. I just hate it. I hate it so much because it doesn't have to be like this. But carry on.
No, just shout out to Valencia. That's all. Nothing important. Just shout out to Valencia. Just
Fuck you
acknowledging
and
them.
Gary Neville. Fuck both of y'all. United fans. Can't follow instructions for shit. Can't stand them.
Coach, can we get the standings so we get out of here?
Indeed, brother. So I was literally on mute. Shout out to Villarreal as well, by the way. Another win for them.
Oh, these niggas got shout outs now. Okay. That's nice.
Barcelona 82 points. It's really over, man. Flipping out. Real Madrid on 75 in second. Atleti on 70 points in third. Bilbao in fourth on 64 points. Villarreal on 61 points in fifth place. And Betis on 6 points. Sorry, in sixth place on 58 points. Yeah, I think Spain get 5 teams as well, don't they? Shout out to them.
They
I think that's
shouldn't.
locked in. I think that's locked in now. I think that's the top five pretty
Well,
much.
I have a question about Barcelona for you guys,
Go on.
real quick before we get out of Spain. We all think Rafinha is probably going to win the Ballon d'Or, correct?
Yeah.
But he's probably not even the fourth best player on that team. Because we only talked about Yamal today. We didn't talk about Rafinha. If we're going to talk about somebody after Yamal, it would have been Pedri. Robert Lewandowski has scored like as many goals as there are league games. But somehow Rafinha is the best of them.
Yeah, I tell you what it is. Though, I feel like with Rafinha, it's almost like Ballon d'Or is as much about quality as it is about the story as well. And it's like Rafinha literally just he literally came in a way he came out of nowhere, and he's not young. You know, what I mean, he's young enough to still have a few years left at the top of his physical like peak and whatnot. But he's not a young player. What is he, like 27, 28? So like, people are obsessed with the story as much as they are about the actual quality of the player, I think. So that's probably it, I think.
I like Yamal's story better. He has braces. It's so much cooler. All right, let's move on.
Serie A, Napoli and Genoa ended up 2-2. This was a very interesting game because one, McTominay has been looking spry, but two, Genoa just didn't give a damn. They went for it. They generally were going for it. So I was just like, good for you. Ended up 2-2, and now it's a point between Inter and Napoli, and I'm so happy because I don't need Conte to win the title or Napoli. So there's
Well,
that.
there's
Yeah,
still
that's
hope
just
for
that's just
everyone.
your personal opinion. I mean, Darmian and Mkhitaryan are still gonna win it if you're worried about X United players having success. So you got to pick
No,
your
it
poison, big
wasn't.
man.
It wasn't about that. It
I'll
was
be honest with you. I would like to see Napoli win it just so, Anguissa can have another league title and he can put it on his mantle along with a bunch of old people's heads. So that's really my thing.
Listen, man, nobody is going to be impressed by Frank Zambo and Giza having Henrik Mkhitaryan's severed bust on his fucking mantle at home, okay? Let's just give it to the team. Like, I have a theory. You know what? Here's what's going to happen, guys. Let me just predict the future. I think I maybe did this already, but let me do it again. Napoli are probably winning the league despite this setback. Shout out Patrick Vieira and Genoa. They've had a really decent season given where they were when he picked them up. And shout out Johan Vasquez, Mexican international, scoring the goal to give Inter hope. But Inter will not win the league. Napoli will win the league by this single point gap that they currently have over Inter. Because Inter are going to win the Champions League. And PSG will lose the Champions League final because they already have 2 trophies. Point being, there's no superlative team in Europe this year. So nobody deserves to win a treble. So Inter already fucked up. Barcelona already out. That's what's going to happen, guys.
Okay.
But yeah, Inter did their job this weekend with a heavily rotated team. So impressive, I'd say.
Yeah, and Zawelski's goal was really good.
Yeah, I think that was his first goal for the club, wasn't it?
It was.
Yeah.
It was a really good goal.
That's
And
crazy.
Asllani scored a penalty, and that was that.
Yeah.
Do you want to know who gave the ball to my man as well? The creative force that is Bastoni. Yeah. I think every week we're just kind of proving more and more right that, football never actually stops. Like, everything we've seen in football now, we saw 50, 60, 70, 80 years ago. I mean, we saw Beckenbauer before any of us, well, not we literally, but Beckenbauer was there before we were born. And now we have Bastoni. Like, it's always been there. Like, I think that's really cool, personally.
Fair enough. Apparently, Inter's wearing yellow kits in the Champions League final. Apparently, so
Okay, so PSG gets the home kit.
yeah.
Yeah, they were on the home side of the draw, actually. I do remember, yeah.
Yeah, that's fair. And I feel like Inter got their actual kit when they played Man City in the final that year. So that's recent enough that I feel like they can't feel bad about that.
Yeah. Milan beat Bologna 3-1. Another comeback goal. Orsolini scored, but it was 2 from Jimenez, and Pulisic got a goal. So, good for Milan. Little too late, but they're scoring 3 goals. That guy is so fired, by the way. He's gone for sure.
Conceição?
Yes.
Really?
Hopefully, yeah.
It's strange though, because with the number of comebacks they've had since he joined the club, you kind of feel like that's a good sign. No, like if the team is constantly coming back from a goal, 2 goals down to win games for you, surely they like the manager because they could just lay there and lose the game.
They're clashing heads. The players,
Who is him and who?
players, coaches, the board. Just based on what I'm seeing from Milan fans tweeting, they also might be batshit. So there's that.
So the coach got to go. Why can't they fire Zlatan or throw him in the ocean or some shit? Do something like that. Like, I feel like it's working low key. I really do. But whatever.
I mean, I'll be honest with you. Like, he probably, if they sell Reinders, they probably will be getting rid of him as well and just using that money to help supplement the new coach.
Bro, I don't. They're already saying they want more than they got for Kaká. So that's a good sign. Like, if they must sell him, they must tax. Because didn't he just get a new contract?
He just got a new contract.
Okay. Wait, who wants him now?
City wants him. City want him.
I want oh god.
Yeah, but here's my thing, right? I know Pep is a midfield whisperer and whatnot. And you can get the best out of players and whatever else, yeah. But Reinders, to me, is a wonderful player, and we've bigged him up so much on his pod kind of thing. But there's still inconsistencies in his game and in his performances. He can still literally just drift through games. I've seen it enough. And while he definitely helps raise their physical profile, I'm not scared of Reinders because of his physicality. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's nothing about his physicality that's like, oh shit, yeah, he's gonna help really raise the floor here. Like, it's just he's an improvement on Kovacic and Gundogan because they're built like 14-year-olds.
They're older, these are old men that have done it all and they're done with the game. But I will say this much, Coach. Pep doesn't listen to this podcast, so you're not gonna scare him off buying that motherfucker. So you can stop.
I'm not even trying to scare him off. Bring him to the Prem. Bring him to the Prem. So Ranieri can break him in half and pull his spine from his back like it's a Predator film. How about that?
So, someone's been playing Mortal Kombat again. Okay.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Oh, man. Let's move on before he starts to get too nerdy. Lazio and Juventus. Colomwani scored the first goal. Timway and Weston combined to set up Randall Colomwani. And then, in the 96th minute, Lazio scored through Inter's old boy, Vecino. So, good. Juventus is always going to continue to suffer.
Yeah, I'd actually turn the TV off out of frustration. I was like, damn, these motherfuckers got a red card and they're still going to get 3 points. But, sometimes fascists can be good.
Not all the time, just
Not all
sometimes.
the, most of the time they aren't, but in this one moment, that's it.
Yeah. Shout out to the Fascists, just this one time only.
One time
Um,
only.
Como beat Cagliari 3-1. They are flying. I cannot believe what
And so is
Fran
Sesk.
Francesc. Coach is not happy at all. But yeah, Cesc is flying. And apparently he wants to go to Bayer Leverkusen. So
Yeah, I think I don't begrudge the man for pursuing his career. I kind of felt like he was at Como for the long run. It felt like they were building something. There's a bunch of investors and celebrities in the stand, and they buy the water, and it's a pretty stadium, and Nico Pez. Then a job opens up, and Seth starts making eyes, and the folks at Como were not even aware of it. So now they're like, "Huh? We didn't know we were about to lose our manager." I'm like, "Y'all niggas don't watch the news." Because we knew. The minute Xabi Alonso got to moving, the minute Leipzig had a vacancy, we kind of knew that, okay, it's time for this guy to move on. He's probably too good for Como. No offense to Como.
yeah, wow. Cesc is gonna go. Atlanta beat Roma 2-1. Lookman scored the first goal, and then there was a header from Roma, and then in the almost 80th minute, a Ghanaian scored off an assist from Ademola Lookman because Lookman decided today that he just wanted to just take everybody. He's like, buy that for a magical ride. So there was that, and Atlanta now have Champions League qualification. So good for them.
Yeah, very impressive. Because Roma have been on a long, not winning streak, but undefeated
Unbeaten
streak.
one, yeah.
Yeah, I think this was their first loss this year, maybe.
This
So good on Atalanta because, but then again, you kind of back them to do the business in a game like this with Champions League on the line. So I'm happy to see them again in the Champions League. I'm sure they'll be better this next season than they were this season because I don't think they were very good in the Champions League, and it kind of cost them their league season too because when they fell off in the Champions League, they kind of had a hangover for a couple weeks. Then eventually they figured it out, but they'll have to do it without Ademola Lookman because I know somebody's buying him this summer for sure.
and Gasparini apparently is gonna go this summer too.
Go where?
Apparently he's leaving.
It's got to be Saudi money. That's got to be it. Like, because if it's not for money, like, where is he going to find a club where he can basically run the place? Like, he basically runs that club. Like, he's not going to get that anywhere else.
No,
Whatever. What if he ends up at, like, Real Madrid? That'd be hilarious.
I don't think they're doing any more old Italian men in Madrid anymore. I think that ship has sailed. Coach, can we get the standings in Serie A, please?
Yes, indeed. Napoli and Inter are separated by 1 point, 78 and 77 points. Napoli in first. Atalanta, 71 points in third. Juventus and Lazio both on 64 points in fourth and fifth. And Roma on 63 points in sixth. Bologna only a point behind them as well in seventh.
We're gonna go to the Premier League. Fulham and Everton. This game is 1-2-3 Cancun because Michael Keane scored, and that's all you have to know.
Bro, he scored that goal, and for some weird reason, all his teammates, I think they ran to go celebrate with the crosser, and he was just behind the net, and it took him like a solid 20 seconds to catch up with his teammates. Then they acknowledged him. It was like, I know he's a shit player, but guys, please.
No, they did the exact right thing.
No,
They did.
but like this is the peak of Cancun type behavior because they sacked off the celebration. Like,
Yeah, it's Michael Keane. Like, it's an embarrassment for the team to concede against him, but it's even embarrassing for you to play with Michael Keane because he's that shit.
he's
Like,
he's not a man.
yeah, like I'm sorry, like I stand with the Everton players on this, man. Who cares about Michael Keane, man? He's dog shit, man. Let's move on, man.
Yo, man, are we out on Marco Silva? It kind of feels like Fulham's season fell apart once they lost that FA Cup final, quarterfinal to Palace. They haven't
It
done
was
shit
the way
since
they
then.
lost as well. Palace absolutely spanked them,
Smoked their ass.
spanked them. So I think it was the manner of the loss, and it's not like they don't like have good players or they haven't spent money. Like, they've invested heavily in that team under Marco Silva as well. I'm not saying he should go or anything like that, but they probably need to look at it and start thinking, will Fulham get Europe this year? I don't think they will they? Like,
I don't know.
if
You're the standings guys. Tell us.
no, what I'm saying is that, the fact I'm even questioning that, considering there's teams in the Premier League that we're looking at. Oh my gosh, Forest might get Champions League. Like, if Forest can, why can't Fulham? Do you know what I mean? Like, that's what they should be.
Because they don't have a mob boss in charge. That's why.
Yeah, but it's not like to my mind, I don't think Fulham are a worse team than
No,
Forest. Like,
no, I don't think so either. I don't think so.
so yeah, that's why I'm just looking at it from. Is there a bit of underachievement there?
Yeah, yeah. You
Yeah,
know, when you lose Reese Nelson,
yeah,
shit gonna go bad. You know,
yeah.
that's how I go.
Yeah. Southampton and Man City drew 0-0. The only highlight from this game is City players complaining, especially the Ruben Diaz. Some of them didn't come out and play football. They're Southampton, bro. United beat them twice. Who are you?
I think you're kind of understating just how whiny that statement was because he said it wasn't good for us, it wasn't good for the fans, it wasn't good for them. I'm like, huh? What do you mean it's not good for them? What do you mean by that? Like, motherfuckers got a point, and you're trying to say it wasn't good for them? Like, tell us more about that, Ruben.
It smacks of arrogance more than anything, and it's genuinely pathetic. Like it's actually pathetic. Like we know it's frustrating, it's shit to watch, it's horrible to play in those sorts of games. We get all of that, but at the end of the day, they have 12 points. What the fuck do you want them to do? Seriously, they have 12 points because they can't play football. They weren't playing football because they're out of choice. He's talking like they had choice. They literally cannot play football. What did he? What did he expect going there?
Hey, man.
Was he expecting a Barcelona versus Inter Milan? They quite literally cannot play football, guys. Like,
At least Pep didn't co-sign that bullshit. You know, he was like,
thank you,
for
you.
once, Pep was like, like that's usually my bag, but you know what? I'm gonna leave. Ruben already did it, so I'll leave it to him. But yeah, like shout out to Southampton, man. They apparently this point means that they're better than Derby County, so they're no longer
Yeah,
the answer to a trivia question.
Wait,
yeah.
didn't no? I swear Derby got 9 points though. From didn't Derby get 9 points?
11. 11
They
or
got
10.
11. Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And when the funniest things
never
about
forget, guys. Never forget 9/11.
Ugo Chuku, right? He looks like a young Anguissa. He looks like a young ape in the care home. That's what he looks like.
No. He is way bigger than Anguissa. Wait, like pause. Like he's his own entity. Anguissa is Anguissa there.
So what you're saying is that in the hypothetical about it's really 100 men versus Leslie Ugochukwu.
Yeah, you might need 300 to be fair though.
Man, this Biafran joke is killing me, man. What's wrong with you, bro? Stop that. Stop being a tribalist. You live in England. Come on, behave. See, you could respond if you weren't muting yourself constantly.
I have no words. I have no words because me living in this on this island has nothing to do with you're right actually it does.
See you in Lagos, bitch.
Wolves lost to Brighton 2-0. Cunha gave up a penalty. I don't know what the hell he was doing. Whatever, man. And as Carl Anker called it politely, he called Danny Welbeck a wonder unk. Because Danny Welbeck finally has scored double figures for the first time in his life in the Premier League. So good for Danny.
I love Danny Welbeck so much. He is quite literally the best Ghanaian of all time, to my
He
mind.
is. He is.
Yeah,
And
I
there's
think
not that
that's
many.
fair. That's
And
fair.
there's not that many.
That's fair. It's him. It's Nketiah. That's pretty much it. Maybe Jerry Rawlings. I'm not sure. We'll see. I don't know, Jerry. What? Like, let's talk about Jerry Rawlings real quick before we move on. Wasn't that just a white man? I'm confused. I always used to look at him like, how is this man running a country with this many black people? I don't understand this shit.
Well, here's the thing. Jerry Rawlings, to me, has never left Man United, come back there, and knock them out of the FA Cup. That's my sort of barometer of if you're a good Ghanaian or not. So, I don't know.
All right. Well, I'll have to answer that question on my own.
Ipswich Town lost to Brentford. Kevin Schade scored. He's been scoring a lot lately. So good for Kevin. We always knew he was talented, but he's coming to his own. So
Hey man, I ain't giving niggas proper scoring in the spring, okay? Like you do it in November. You know, let's talk then. Do it when it's cold, you know, like do it when KDB is resting. Do it then. How about that?
When he's defrosting.
Pep coming home like, oh my God, Pep is coming home. I didn't take the KDB out of the freezer. He's going to kill me. Pep get in the house, just start spitting everywhere. Nigga, where's my Kevin D chicken? You know, sorry. Let's just move on. Let's move on. I'm sorry. This is ridiculous.
was it in the freezer in the garage?
I don't know. KDB is he's very, very valuable. You can't keep him in the garage. He got to be in the normal freezer. You know, like you keep someone like I don't know, like Tomiyasu in the garage freezer. You know, like that's the permanently injured.
Wale agrees. Um, Bournemouth lost to Aston Villa. It was a deft touch from Ollie Watkins. But yeah, Dean had a question, which was, how would you judge Unai's season after his Europe adventure? Don't care.
Um, I'll be honest with you. Unai is doing exactly what Unai does, and it's impressive that you can be a coach and you can always meet the expectations when you're at a club that essentially has those expectations. So yeah, good for him. Like seriously, seriously, good for him. I don't hate Unai Emery now. He's not in the Arsenal dugout. I'm just very pleased that he's proven me right as always. Basically, like him in this lane right now, perfect. Anything bigger than that, we'll see his weaknesses again. So
So you're saying that Aston Villa is just Sevilla,
Yeah,
basically.
Via. It's right in
yeah,
the fucking name, nigga.
like duh, like
No, that said, after the game, he started his post game interview with saying Europe like 3 or 4 times in a row, which sounded really weird coming from him with his accent and all. But I think he was trying to make the point that this is an achievement for Villa, making it back to Europe. But all then it's like, bro, y'all were just in the Champions League. Like, why is going backwards something to be? I mean, I know you want to set the terms of the conversation, and he was very clever to do that to sort of humble Villa fans before they start thinking like, well, we were better last season, right? So you kind of cut that off at the knees, but I do feel as if he's kind of defrauding them a little bit because it's like you can't. It's clear regression. You can't call that progress. I don't know. Because it's a better squad. Like you have a Rashford in there. You have Ollie. You still have Ollie Watkins. You have Daniel Malen. You have good
essentially.
players in the squad. You have Onana. You got all these players, but you didn't do as well in the league. So
Well,
that's not progress.
the thing is, they still they're level on points with Chelsea. Do you know what I mean? Like they still might make Champions League. They still literally might make Champions League. So I don't think it's cut and I genuinely don't think it's cut and dry. I personally think it would be flipping hilarious if Chelsea miss out on Champions League. Personally, it would be infinitely more funnier than
You know
poking
what?
fun. Yeah,
I could never hate Unai as much as I hate Chelsea. So
yeah,
hell yeah.
exactly.
Let's pray for
Exactly.
that. Let's pray for that.
Yeah, I think that'd be cool,
Main,
and I can take people talking about, oh yeah, Unai Emery's, is qualifying for Champions League again. Oh, let's laugh at Arsenal for some reason. I can take that. That's fine. Chelsea need to die, bro. so, so I don't give a shit, to be honest. Like,
you sound like Kendrick when he was performing, what's it called? That one song, Certified Pedophile. It's like, just
yeah, no,
die.
no, no, for real. Like, look, the
That's
world be
that's
better
that's
off.
not the name of the song, guy.
I
That's
know it's
It
not.
was
stupid. Yo, like,
it
listen,
was meet
the,
the
the
Graham team,
Canadian
man.
suits people, we can't
Yeah,
afford that.
yeah.
This is true.
But yeah, look, the world is a better place. The same way I was talking about Brazil, the world deserves a good Brazil. I think the world deserves a Chelsea that doesn't exist. You know,
That's
I
fair.
think that's
That I
yeah,
can concur with. The
yeah.
Brazil thing, I'm not buying, and I don't want to see Neymar again. Fuck him. Bye. We've seen enough. All you do is show up and get hurt and go party with your sister. I'm tired. Enough.
He's hurt again, by the way.
See,
Yeah,
see.
we know. Yeah, we know. That's why I said maybe he needs to get in the freezer. That's what he needs to do.
Man United hosted West Ham and lost. I enjoyed this game a lot because it was so funny to see United fans cry in the timeline because I'm not active on social anymore, but it's funny to still like lurk and look. And I'm just like, what did you guys expect? Like, generally,
Like,
what do you guys expect? Like,
like,
I, you have a Rasmus as your striker. Like, what do you want? Like,
I,
you're talking about some, oh, the team shouldn't be 16th to 17th. Yes, they actually should be 16th to 17th. That's exactly where they belong.
like,
They're
I think they should be lower to me. They should be relegated. That's just me though. Sorry, I'm
yeah.
sorry to say.
If there were 3 other Premier League level teams in the Premier League this season and not Champions League championship level teams, United would definitely have gotten relegated this season.
yes,
Like they just lucked out that not lucked out. It's just the structure of the game at this point. The promoted teams are just not going to be that good moving forward until something changes. But
yes.
they've been terrible, and yeah, but they were actually decent in this game. I
And
thought.
Dean, and here's my thing, right, about United. Like, you can see what the coach is trying to do. The players just physically cannot do it because they're not good enough. Like, I understand, like, yes, coach is supposed to get the best of the players. 100% understand that. I'm not disagreeing with that. But when you have a defensive midfielder who gets the ball from Ahmad, and his first instinct is not to pass the ball, is to shield it in the middle of the field and then sit down. What more do you want to do with that? Like, there's nothing you can do. Mason Mount averages about a flick of a hair per second. You know, there's nothing there in this
Leave
club.
Mason alone, man. Leave him alone. He didn't do nothing to you motherfuckers but be hurt, okay? Like, just leave Mason alone. Like, shit on everybody else, but leave Mason alone. That white man ain't done nothing to y'all, man. He's a nice guy.
Looks like Lenny Euro might be out with a foot injury, so that's unfortunate. But hey, listen, you play against Tottenham next week, win the champions, win that game, and do
Yeah.
whatever you want.
So I just can we just talk about that final and I suppose Amarim's comments as well.
Fine.
Amarim, like, Amarim was basically said that look, he's embarrassed or United are an embarrassment kind of thing, and I think it's really really refreshing to hear a coach basically tell a bunch of idiots in the fan base that you can have Europa League. We're still absolutely fucking dog shit. I think it's important to, and again, I'm not trolling here, but I think it's very, very important that coaches can not live in La La Land, because I can guarantee you, had Ten Hag been in charge, he probably would have relegated United, but he would have got to the final and probably won it. And he would have been like, well, we're the first team to play in the Championship and play Champions League. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's the kind of shit Ten Hag would have done. You
That
know?
would have been lit, though. That would have
Yeah, it
been
would have
so
been fucking
lit.
hilarious. I won't lie to you. But imagine trying to balance the books with the windfall of falling out the Champions League, but sorry, falling out the Premiership, but you also get the money from the Champions League. Like,
Yo,
that would be
ain't shit
flipping
changed,
hilarious.
man.
Yeah,
Nothing changes. It's like
basically,
garbage in, garbage out.
yeah, basically. But yeah, I think it's really, really important. Again, I'm not talking to Tosin because Tosin has 3 brain cells at least, which is 3 more than most Man United fans. Like,
I don't know, man. I feel like Tosin only talks like this because he knows that if he actually says what he wants to say, we will just kill him on the pod.
no, that's not. No,
He actually finds sanity off the pod. We got a separate chat that you're not in. Tosin be saying wild shit, man. He called you a pussy yesterday.
but yeah, I think it's important that the coach just lets them know that look, guys, regardless of what happens, and he mentioned as well that he if they make Champions League, he's not going to sign players that are joining only for Champions League as well. Again, like all of these things, all of these, which I know is obviously a lie, but he's obviously doing. He's
Like
obviously
you have
saying
a
the right.
choice in the matter.
Yeah, but he's obviously saying the right things. I think overall, it's just important that at least if fans are in denial, the coach isn't, which I feel like was the opposite. Like, Ten Hag was in denial for most of his time at United. Let's be honest there. Like, he was talking a bunch of shit, and the shit on the pitch was not adding up to what he was saying at all. So shout out to Amarim for at least being the most realistic person associated to that club.
Like, I fuck with Amarim, but at some point he's gonna need to learn how to lie a little bit too. Cause like this whole like I'm honest Abe shit ain't gonna cut it the entire time. At some point, when standards are a little higher, like right now, you just gotta give people their medicine. But when things pick up a little bit, I hope he knows how to lie, because I've enjoyed this honesty a lot. I really have. But it's not gonna work moving forward if you don't, fix shit. Like people don't care about you being honest if you're not winning games, but they're terrible, so they're not gonna win. It's fine.
Point of what I was trying to say to end it all is Man United fans need to shut the fuck up. But yeah,
I think that's it. I think that's a very, very
No,
good point.
I don't agree. I don't agree with you guys. I don't think you have any right to tell fans of Man United how to feel about their club.
Oh, we know what he's doing here. We know what's going to happen next. Deen, are you going to spit at a child by any chance?
Unfortunately for me, there are no children near me. Damn. Damn. I'm gonna give them the pep spit too, like. Pause on all that, by the way.
Newcastle beat Chelsea 2-0. It was funny because when Chelsea went down to 10 men, Newcastle basically outplayed them, but still somehow scored another goal. I love it. Just great. So
Yeah, it's interesting. Chelsea fans talking about Maresca needs to go because he can't win big games. I'm like,
Wait, what big games have you played
I'm
in?
like, nigga, y'all ain't played a big game in 3 years. What are you talking about?
hey, listen, they're in the final two, and I hope Anthony bangs on their head on Isco. I really hope they bang on their head.
Yeah, I really, really, I am such a real Betis fan. I actually might put on a fedora, like for real. I might put on a fedora, and I might find some mercurial vapors. How about that? And just put them on, and just be a combination of Finidi, George, and Denilson.
Like, listen, man. Yeah, I got all my money on them. I've had a Betis jersey in my cart for like months. I just haven't pulled the trigger on that yet. But with them facing Chelsea in the final, it's time to, I mean, Betis, they're basically the Super Eagles, man. They're the Super Eagles of Spain. They wear the right colors. It's all good, man. Like, I just, and Anthony, man, I'm happy for the guy. I have to
I
admit.
won't front. I won't
I'm
front.
happy
I
with it. I
secretly
can't
am
front.
as well.
I don't.
I'm
I
so
can't.
happy.
I
I'm
can't.
so happy for him too because we're gonna get some money off of that. Atletico Madrid are interested, so shout out to you, Anthony. You get money back.
I don't know, man. I don't know. It's one of them things where I really hope him and his agent can work something out because environment matters. I don't know that he can replicate the same shit at Atletico Madrid,
I
even if
don't.
they have the money to buy him. Like I know you don't care or whatever. Okay, fine. Yeah, we get that.
Well, I mean,
But
they still have Lamar, which is crazy.
crazy,
Like absolutely mental.
They have
but
who?
Yes, Lamar, brother.
I
Lamar.
have not heard of Thomas Lamar since 1993. Who is that?
but he renewed his contract at one point. Like, which is so strange, but shout out Andrea Berta, man. Like locking niggas up, then
Speaking
leaving
of
them. Oh my god, terrible.
Speaking of locking niggas up, Nottingham Forest tied against Leicester 2-2, and their owner pulled out a gun after the game. We didn't pull out a gun, but yeah, they tied. And he was pissed. He was very, very pissed. It was fun to see just an angry Greek man running around the pitch afterwards, thinking that he owns the place. Well, he does, but
Yeah, apparently he was pissed off at the medical staff or something like that. So
Yeah, so near the end of the game, they made a substitution. They brought Awoniyi on. There was a chance that he probably should have converted. They kind of messed it up. He ends up getting poleaxed by the post. He tries to, him and the defender go into the post. He basically probably cracked a rib doing that shit. So when the medical staff goes out there to see if he's okay, Nuno is about to use his final substitution. So medical staff goes, thumbs up, he's good. Dude takes like another 6 steps after the substitution has occurred and goes, my chest hurt, can't play anymore. So they had to put his broken ass back out there to play the remaining like injury time or whatever it was. It wasn't a long time, but he clearly was in no shape to play. So the mess up basically meant that they were basically a man down, even though he was out there. So Marinakis came down to just find out what happened, and he just happens to have a certain manner. He's a bit, I put it this way, when you're fat, people will not accept anything from you if you're not smiling. That's just the way this shit go. Like, you're supposed to be a jolly fat motherfucker. Marinakis had a right to be grumpy. He goes down there, and because he's not smiling at Nuno or whatever the fuck, everybody in the media is like, he has undermined the man, and he needs to, Nuno should put, someone said he should quit his job because of that. Like, really, that's what we're doing now? That's what, like, fat people can't be mean sometimes? It's okay for fat people to be mean. It's okay. That's how Yokozuna won the WWE Championship, by being mean, okay? Get over it, people. He didn't do anything wrong, and even if he did something wrong, no one is going to fire him from his job. He owns the club, so whatever. Yeah.
this is how Scott
he's
Steiner
most likely to get them fired. Like,
There you go. Fucking with a mob boss and shit.
Dean sounds like Scott Steiner if he went to therapy just now.
Scott Steiner would never go to therapy. That's where you're wrong.
Oh man, Liverpool Arsenal 2-2. The Arsenal edition's out now, and that's the only thing that we can say about that, other than the fact that you guys are wankers for booing Trent, and that's all I have to say about that.
we didn't boo him. What do you mean? Like,
Liverpool fans, you're wankers, okay, for booing Trent, and they shouldn't have put him on the pitch. They shouldn't have, but Conor Bradley.
no, I think he has more right of being on the pitch than them fuckers in the crowd do. How about that? Like, he has more right to be in that stadium than they do because
He's
they're
actually done something for the club.
yeah, like all these dudes do is come in there and racially abuse like academy products. How about that? Yeah, like it makes no sense to me. The more I think about it, I'm a little bit more annoyed today than I was yesterday. Now that I've seen the dust settle and they're still talking rubbish about this guy. Like, I had a Liverpool fan message me randomly this morning and said that he's lucky I'm in South Africa, or else I would have thrown a cow's head on the pitch. A la Figo versus Barcelona. And to me, it's just this sense of entitlement that it's let's be honest here, it's Madrid versus Liverpool here. Like, it's the cities versus each other. Like, who wants to live in Liverpool, guys?
Bro, even the fucking Beatles left.
Yeah, like, I'm sorry. Let's just call it what it is. Liverpool are a huge club with lots of history and stuff, but Real Madrid are Real Madrid. And he's leaving at a time where, let's be very, very, very flipping clear here. Liverpool are the most successful club in English history now. They have the most league titles. They have the most Champions League titles. They've also got the overall biggest trophy haul. And he's left the club on that perch. What more do you want from him? He's left the club as champions of the country. What more do you possibly want from him? What, because you didn't get 80 mil? Who the fuck is paying 80 mil for a right back, bro? I don't care how good your right foot is. You're not worth 80 mil. So don't cry about that, about dumb shit like that, man. I'm sorry.
And Real Madrid did bid. Maybe it wasn't a lot, but they bid like 20 million in January.
Exactly.
And the club said no. So if it's about the money, there was a chance to get some money back. The club said no. So that's not Trent's fault anymore. They could have renewed him at any point in the period before Real Madrid had an opportunity to turn his head. They didn't do it. So it's not the club's fault because, Klopp was leaving, then Michael Edwards left, and he came back. That's not Trent's fault. It's not on him. And the most embarrassing thing about this to me as a rival fan, I don't really consider Liverpool a rival, but whatever, is that they've tainted the memory of a really good achievement with this bullshit. I feel like this is what I'm going to remember most about this title win for them than anything else.
Yeah.
The fact that they booed their own academy product because he won everything for them and decided to go get a different job somewhere else and just go live his life. Like, literally everybody that Liverpool people are proud of on the planet had to fucking leave that city to go achieve something.
Yeah, basically. So yeah,
the ones that stayed were threatened to stay.
Yeah, and this is another thing as well. Like, when you got certain people in the media that, for all intents and purposes, were never ever in danger of leaving Liverpool, trying to talk about, oh, he should have done this, should have done that. You've never ever been that good. You've never been courted by anyone half decent. The peak of your career was being carried to a Champions League by players that were
a lucky Champions League.
A lucky champion. Well, it is what it is. The Champions League, in it. But you know what I mean. But like being carried to it by players that were infinitely more gifted than you, and one of them did actually end up at Real Madrid as well. Funnily enough, so you're in no position to tell Trent what to do. You just aren't at all.
Imagine if Chelsea had bid for Jamie Carragher during his career.
Nobody
would have threatened him to stay.
Exactly. Nobody. They would have packed your bags full. They would have fucked you off quickly. Like, it doesn't make no sense to me. Like, instead, you're the one that sent thugs to Steven Gerrard's house to make sure that he stays.
Like the other thing is, I really resent the fact that Jamie Carragher had the nerve to go on TV after the game and say they've gone too far. Like, bro, you spent the last year fanning the flames of this bullshit. You're the most prominent Liverpool person on TV these days, okay? Like, Graham Souness has retired or whatever. They got rid of him. Who else was out there? Who else is out there for Liverpool? I mean, I know there are a bunch of them, but he's the most prominent one. And he's very firmly been on the side of Trent is abandoning legend status and all this shit. Then the minute the consequences come home to roost, you back out of it because, coward.
Let's call it what it is. That's just typical white boy shit, man. That's what it is.
It's coward behavior, man. It's real coward behavior, But he spat on a little girl once, so whatever. We expect nothing from him, and he still disappoints us.
Well, all I can say is this. That's his job. He went for a better job. And everyone listening knows that if you get a better job with better pay in a better city, you're going to take it. And that's how simple I view it.
You don't have to, but you generally do, because most people that do high achieving shit, like become the right back of the most successful team in English football history, are ambitious. They want to do big shit with their lives, He doesn't owe you his life. He owed you a contract, and he saw it to its end. That's how contracts work. The end.
Boom. Coach, let's get the standings, and we're going to run through Ligue 1 and the Bundesliga.
So, yeah, Arsenal are in second, 68 points. Newcastle are in third, 66. Man City, 65 in fourth. Chelsea and Villa are locked on 63. And Forest are on 62 points, 7th place. It would be hilarious if they somehow managed to sneak back into Champions League places, but I'm really hoping Aston Villa do knock Chelsea out somehow, and potentially maybe Newcastle could fall out somehow. I don't know.
No, that's not happening. It's too late now.
Yeah, it is what it is, man.
All right. Let's go to League On. Run beat Nice 2-0. Unfortunate that Nice just kept collapsing. Kalu Mendo has been on fire. He scored like 18 goals this season already. 17, 18 goals this year. So good for him. Got a brace in this game. So, hey, good for him. Angers beat Strasbourg 2-1. Unfortunately for Liam Rosenior, his team slipped up, but hey, they've had a great season, and they've been dancing all season long too, so maybe they're a little bit tired from all that dancing they've been doing after scoring. Monaco beat Lyon 2-0. Lyon messed up. They had their Champions League spot, and I think with 2 games left, they're done. I don't think there's no Champions League for them this year, or any Europe for that matter for them, so, we messed up their season, thank God. Better to them than us. Brest beat Lille 2-0. Apparently, Jonathan David is talking to Napoli. That's where he's seemingly apparently going to go next year. Is going to Naples.
I think that's a good fit.
I mean, what are you gonna do? Playing alongside Lukaku? How does that work?
I think eventually they'll have to start thinking about phasing out Lukaku anyway at some point. So.
Well, yeah, but not yet.
Yeah. Montpellier lost to PSG 4-1, and what's it called? Scored a hat trick. The Portuguese striker. Why am I forgetting his name? Goncalo Ramos.
Goncalo Ramos.
Yes, Goncalo Ramos scored a hat trick. So there's that, and that's League On because it's wrapped up, and next week they're done. So
Yeah, I was gonna have a quick mention on the league, our team of the season. I think it's hilarious that the only two players that didn't make it in were
Never forget. Never forget.
yeah, were Shirky and the Lille goalkeeper. And
Chevalier?
yeah, Chevalier. Yeah, they were literally it was PSG everywhere else apart
Wait,
from that.
Chevalier got in over Donnarumma?
Yeah.
That's
I mean,
probably
I think-
fair. That's
yeah,
probably
I-
fair
I-
based on league form.
Yeah, I was gonna say as well. I think he probably ends up a PSG player soon as well. But
Deschamps likes him, so you're probably right.
yeah. But yeah, I think it's funny because there was a couple of other candidates that potentially could have been into it, and League R said no, no fucking way, which I think is very, very, very good.
Well, you said Ligue 1 said no, but really it was Al Khalifi that said no.
Yeah, it's basically PSG that said no, to be honest.
yeah, well, that's Paris. Do you want to give us the standings, or do we not care about the standings in France?
Well, yeah, I suppose the race for Europe is still quite interesting. So let's actually start backwards this time. So Lyon are 54 points, 3 points behind Strasbourg in 6th place on 57 points. And between 6th and 5th, they're all on 57 points. That's Lille and Nice. And then in 3rd, Monaco on 61 points, Marseille on 62 points in 2nd. So yeah, there's still quite a bit to play for, to be honest, on the final day of the season.
Quite a bit.
Yeah.
It's going to be dramatic. I might actually sit down and watch the live.
A
Did they do the
simulcast.
simultaneous games in France on the final day?
I don't think so, but simulcast might be the move.
They don't have a TV rights provider. What are you talking about?
I'll just look in the direction of Paris then.
Bundesliga. Bayern Munich beat Mönchengladbach 2-0. They wore their away kits, and their fans have been actually really mad at Adidas for like a very long time now. They don't like
their away kits for next season.
Yep, their away kits for next season, but their fans are not happy with any of the kits that Adidas has been making.
They shouldn't be. Them kits is ass. They're terrible. Like, a Bayern kit is actually pretty simple. It's actually just a red shirt. Occasionally, maybe once a decade, throw on some blue stripes. That's it. And Adidas just keeps fucking with it. They're treating the Bayern kit in recent years like Nike treats the Oregon University kids. Just doing whatever. And it's not right. It's the biggest club in the country. Like, let's be serious about this shit, man. Y'all, they once fired a manager for riding a skateboard to practice, okay? Let's be serious about this shit. Put a fucking bow tie on a red jersey and call it a day, Adidas. Enough of this shit. I don't blame them. It's ridiculous. This shit, like, it'd be one thing if you deviate from the original colors or whatever and it looks good. These are not improvements on a classic formula or anything like that. Next season's jersey looks like a baby's bib or some shit, man. It's fucking horrible. It's like a digital bib.
The white stripe here, right? And then the 2 stripes coming up.
Bro, it looks like people eating crawfish, bro. It's horrible.
Yeah, it's bad. One of the funny things about the post-game celebrations, everyone got to lift the trophy, was Elisa getting beer poured in his locks. He looks so sick. He looks so sick.
That's what happens when you go live among all them white people. Like, they don't know better. Like,
He had
grills
in as well, and I think some Oakley sunglasses, which I think is a pretty cool aesthetic. I won't even lie to you. Like, I had never seen that shit before in my life, to be honest.
It's called Justin Jefferson.
Come on, man.
In Germany, you've seen it in Germany.
I can't stand Europeans, man. You niggas don't know nothing, man. Like, Europeans don't know fashion. Americans know fashion.
I really do think that Rummenigge was sick to his stomach, which is probably like the best thing about it. To be fair, he might sell Elise in the summer just based off that.
He's gonna call Elise the last part of his last name if he keeps it up. Leverkusen beat Dortmund. Leverkusen lost to Dortmund 4-2. Their last home game with Xabi Alonso did all their goodbyes. Frimpong scored, and then Dortmund just decided, hey, we want to be serious for once. I think they're gonna get Champions League this season. So good for Dortmund.
Yeah, looking like it, man. That Guirassy investment was the best money they've spent in probably since Jude or some shit, man. Like, he really showed out this season, you know. And he was hurt for huge chunks of it too.
Yeah, I think the finish as well was incredible. I think I really enjoyed his finish for the goal.
I feel like we could do worse than Guirassy on a cheap deal.
No, for real,
I would love him at
like
Arsenal.
no, for real. If we're gonna say okay, cool, like Bundesliga tax or whatever else, yeah. Harry Kane has 25 goals. Guirassy has 20. Like, and he's playing for a far worse team as well. I think. Now we know he's a box striker. Primarily, he's a box striker, but there's a lot of talent in what he does. Yeah, and you have to respect what he does. Like, there's no two ways about it. You have to respect what he does, man. So, yeah, if we're looking at Zeshko or whatever else, which I understand, I get, it is what it is kind of thing. Like, there's a nigga here that's scoring 20 goals in the Bundesliga as well. So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was just a suggestion. I don't actually want it to happen.
No, of course I get what you mean, but I'm not saying, just logically, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like, you can't have one and not the other, you know.
Oh, and we already moved past Byron, but I do think I speak for everybody on this podcast when I say, despite all the analysis and the Styles P jokes, we're all very proud of Vincent Company for winning the Bundesliga as a black manager in Europe. Like, you don't even get these opportunities, really. So for him to get it, and maybe it's not the success Bayern planned for this season, but it's still a success. The last person who had that job did not win the Bundesliga, and Vincent Company did that shit. So shout out to Vincent Company, and I hope he keeps his job through the summer. We just got to make sure there are not a lot of candidates floating around, because this Cesc thing is making me nervous.
Frankfurt season crashed. They drew to
Crashed.
Not crash, but like
Okay.
yeah,
All right.
they haven't really just like been. They was kind of flying. I think like after Europa League, they kind of like were just spotty here and there. They drew to St. Pauli 2-2. Champions League qualifications looking tough for them, but St. Pauli are safe from relegation. So good for St. Pauli.
Yeah, I feel like Frankfurt might need like maybe a point to get, so it's
I was gonna say, I think they're in, to be honest.
yeah, it's shitty to leave it to the last day,
Yeah.
but I think they can pull it off. I mean, but if they don't, that'll make for a hilarious story, and maybe I can get my boy Hugo Ekitike out of there, without that Champions League money to keep him. A man can dream. A man can dream.
Coach, can we get the standings in Germany?
Indeed, brother.
Start
Bayern
with
Munich-
Mainz, wherever they are, please.
Yeah, so mine's might be in the Conference League qualifiers, which will be hilarious if they don't make it through there. They're on 51 points. Dortmund 54 points in Europa League spot. Freiburg 55 points in fourth. Frankfurt 57 points in third. Leverkusen 68 points in second, and Bayern Munich obviously.
Vincent Company's Bayern Munich.
Exactly, Vincent Company's Bayern Munich on 79 points. Yeah.
Yeah, fuck you, Roman nigger. I'm the nigger.
That's what Elise said when he put his grills in his mouth. Anything you want to talk about before we get out of here?
No.
Yeah, sorry this was late. Like, niggas needed a nap this weekend, man. That's all, but we figured it out. Enjoyed the podcast. We appreciate y'all. We love y'all.
Okay, we're out. Everyone take it easy. Peace.
Peace.
Hey folks, this is Deen from the Shirtless Plantain Show. Don't forget to subscribe, comment, and follow us on all our socials. You can see them right beneath our recordings in every video. Thanks again, and see you on the next one.